Perseverance Plateau, a monument that stands 2,000 feet above the surface of the planet known as Layla. The plateau is surrounded by a world of fog that spreads as far as the eye can see. Above all of that is an endless azure sky that never changes color. Not when it rains, not when the moon shines above. No stars dot the sky. The plateau remains to be the only known, charted, inhabitable surface on the planet situated above the fog. And since landing the wishful thinking on the plateau, the three queens and their generations after have seen it prosper into a thriving three-district colony. From the top of the highest plain, set in the center of the plateau, sits the circular castle that oversees each city as it rotates on what remains of the wishful thinking. Here, the queens and their envoys live and thrive in the central city. Each queen holds the fealty over one of the cities, and they look out over their kingdom with great pride. To the east lies Saint Sister, to the west, Brother Bishop, and to the south, Maiden Mother. Each city is sectioned off and kept private, and travel between the cities is handled by envoys, though every citizen is able to move once in their lifetime from one district to another, but only once. Because of this, the only knowledge of the cities each other have are the rumors and stories given to them by the envoys of the queens and those who have moved previously. What is known of Saint Sister is that it is a very artful and fruitful district, producing lumber and pigments as well as music and installations that often find their way to other districts. What is known of Brother Bishop is that it is ruled by a subsect of the Queen's envoys that have been tasked with keeping the old magic alive, despite it not functioning properly on the plateau. What is known of Maiden Mother is that it is the agriculture haven of the Perseverance Plateau. All foods, metals, and textiles originate from Maiden Mother. Despite centuries of living in peace and prosperity, every 3 months volunteers and criminals are sent down the incline of the plateau to the surface of the planet. The hopes are that those on the ground will scout and map out the surface, opening up more farming grounds or habitation for the ever-increasing population. Despite the centuries of doing so, no one has ever returned. Okay, we're going to start with Brother Bishop. Let's introduce our characters. Drake, would you like to go first?
Very well. There's a short elf, about 5'6", and he's walking towards the hut with a sense of almost not quite boredom, but ennui. His lines on his face are old. He seems like he's tired of this shit. He's wearing scale armor, over which he is wearing some sort of tabard, a gambeson or something. And in that are a bunch of different pockets and little grommets and settings, as well as on his black cloak that he wears. His hat has a bowler, and from the bowler there is a monocle that is tied to the hat. And currently, he is fixing up a little metallic something before putting it in one of his pockets, and looking behind him to see if his companion is with him.
Larl, would you like to introduce your character?
Following close behind the high or behind the elf is a tabaxi woman. She is dressed in simple leather armor. Um, Her fur is reddish brown with dark brown stripes, and she has long chestnut hair tied in a tight ponytail to keep it out of her face. Her green eyes kind of twinkle as she looks around, but keeps her eyes on her friend, Augie. Um, and one free hand kind of fumbles with a dagger as she tries to conceal any anxiety she might be feeling.
Cool. So you two head through your city, which is the only one that is connected to the actual um, hut itself. Everyone else is going to have to be taken there blindfolded, as you guys know. Um, and the two of you are now in said hut, right outside of the walls that protect your city. Uh, it is a 5 bedroom sort of building, even though it's called a hut. And the two of you situate yourself in one of the bedrooms while you wait for other people to show up. The place has food, it has water, um, and other than that, it is empty. So,
I I hand mist a whetstone. If you're going to fidget, perhaps this will help you calm yourself a little bit. We're going to need our knives sharp when we go down.
She gives him a gentle smile, the corner of her lips quirking tiny, and takes the whetstone with a small nod. Thank you. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm glad you're here with me. Her tail does a little twitch, giving away that she's still a little nervous, even though she turns to the whetstone and starts to make sure her daggers are as sharp as possible.
Well, I don't know what to expect either. No one does. It would be best if we were prepared for anything.
all right.
That does seem like okay. Sorry.
Oh no, if you want to continue, continue.
Nope. Go ahead.
Well, so you two are going to be there by yourself for a week, because it's going to take time for other people to show up. And next, I think we should do Saint Sister.
I
So Pierce or Red, who would like to introduce their character first?
I can go first.
Sure, go for it.
Oh, we just lost somebody, did we?
Yeah.
Amber's internet is crunching.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, there she is.
Player's name is Pierce. Hello. They, them. And Zulamar is a young tiefling. Stands about 6 foot, and he has a light ruddy complexion with a dusty gray hair that is got black streaks running through it. His hair is naturally black, but over the years it has actually started to fade into gray. And he has a more introverted demeanor to him. Prefers to keep quiet. Enjoy a bit of music and some painting. And just before just before arriving at the hut, blindfolded, he was saying his goodbyes to his 3 younger siblings and his mother, the chief of the tribe and Saint Sister, before meeting at the appointed place with Vitani, his childhood friend, and going to where they're to be expected to head out from their city to the hut where they should be led down below.
All right, Vitani or Red?
Hello. So, player's name, Red, pronouns she, her. Same pronouns for Vitani. Vitani is a young, fiery spirited Genasi from Saint Sister who's grown up with Zuli and is quite close with them. And before being blindfolded and led to the meeting place. She was out on a hunt, preparing for their travels.
Cool. So the both of you are stuck in the back of a cart. Um, your hands are not tied or anything, but you are blindfolded. You know the routine. You've been told it by the envoys who've questioned you multiple times to make sure that you're sure you want to do this, and both of you do. So it takes about a day of travel from Saint Sister through the central city, which is weird because you've never thought about it really, and you hear a lot of soft whispers and a lot of like elegant flute music that's different from the way that you would play your instruments or have heard instruments being played, and it's a lot of just quiet, petty talk. And you go through the city and it slips you into another where it's just bustling and metal and it's clanging and it's loud and it's kind of irritating, and then it goes quiet at the very end of the day and the two of you are helped off of the cart, the blindfolds are taken off, and you are uh, ushered into the hut. You will be there for 2 days before the last of the arrivals show up.
Right.
And before we get to interactions between you guys, I am going to jump in and say Laurel's character Mist goes by she, her. She also does she, her. Drake is he, him, and he, him for both himself and his character Augie.
Noted.
Oh, Zulamar usually goes by he, they, whichever.
Thumbs up. Uh, and again, before we do introductions between you two, we're gonna jump over to Mother Maiden, where we have, I cannot pronounce your name, Ahsoka. You are
Yay!
being taken to a section before you go to the hut, and when you get there, you're going to see um, Amber's character, and Amber, describe your character, but make sure that that character. You have a lot of feedback, darling.
Oh, let me see. Sorry.
No worries, but just when you describe your character, make sure that you note your character is in handcuffs.
Yes. Rhea, oh, well, I guess player, Amber, she, her, and Rhea, also she, her. Um, she's extremely tall. I'd say is like, well, not extremely, but she's rather tall, maybe like 6'2". Um, really wide, muscular build, thick arms. She has like wine red hair that's pulled back into like a matted ponytail with feathers and string woven in it. She's just wearing simple uh, hide clothing with like maybe I think it's a chain shirt underneath, notably no sleeves or anything. Um, and she is indeed in handcuffs. She's walking silently with whoever is guiding her, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Uh, and Frappi, would you like to introduce your character and yourself?
So Frappi, she, her, and Ahsoka is also she, her. Um, Ahsoka's kind of like this 5'6" tiefling girl. She's got her hair is in a ponytail as well, but the sides of her hair are shaven down so that they accentuate her ears. So she thinks it helps with hunting. That's what she was taught. Um, she wears like leather armor and just simple long sleeve shirt, pants, boots, something that's easy to like hunt in. She's got her arrows on the back and she's just walking next to Rhea. And she's kind of looking at the handcuffs curiously.
As you guys go, you get to a point where the wall finally begins, and you know that you are no longer going to be in your city, and you are blindfolded. You are sent not through Central City, but through your neighboring city, which is Brother Bishop, and the only thing you know about it is from the rumors, and it is loud and cacophonous, and there's a lot of metal and clanging and voices. And it is so different from what you are used to. You're used to the calm and bonfires and just comfortable noises, and this is a cacophony. Eventually get through, and your blindfolds are taken off outside of the hut, and you are led inside. And before you are led inside, Rhea, you like hold up your hands for the handcuffs, but you are informed that you will not be unlocked until you are to leave. So for the next day, you are stuck handcuffed while everyone else is free to roll around. We're going to do the introductions between um, the characters from Saint Sister and Brother Bishop first.
Are we just like sitting at a common table on the first floor of the hut?
You can be wherever you guys want to be.
Well, if there's a common table, I'll be glad to use it. I will be working on my various little things. It will take a lot of work for me to be prepared to go down below, and this is a nice place and peace and quiet where I can do so. So I will be there at the table with assorted stuff, metal stuff, and I'll be putting it together, screwing things in with a little tiny screwdriver, and basically doing work. My head down, occasionally moving up to scratch my mustache and my bare chin. But I won't be paying any much mind to anyone walking in. I won't be greeting them or saying hello. At best, I'll look up, study them for a bit, and then go back to my work.
Mist is currently sort of circling the room, checking to see everything that's around her, taking count of the few things that are in the room, and is listening to every noise that's coming nearby. So she will likely hear people as soon as they enter.
Zulamar holds the door open for Vitani. Not because she's a girl or something like that, but because he really would like for it not to break. Um, she would normally be more enthusiastic in opening doors. It allows her to enter first.
Aw, aren't you sweet?
Only for you.
um, Vitani already knows why Zuli opened the door, and she pats him on the head before walking inside. Um, just grateful to be on her feet after an entire day of sitting in a cart. She's definitely not eager to sit down again yet either, but she does unload some of her things onto an empty table in the tavern, seeing as there's somebody already occupying the main one.
When the two enter the room, Mist's ears immediately prick up, and she looks towards them. Though she isn't quick to smile or anything, more she's looking them over from head to toe, assessing to see if they are threat or friend. And as I didn't mention too much before, she is a short 5 foot cat lady. She has her leather armor on, but her arms are bare with some leather straps and wrappings around her arm for added protection and support. She looks at them and says, finally, after a long, for a cat, look at them. Are you the ones we're supposed to be meeting then?
I would assume so. We're all in the same place, right?
Yes, I do assume that we're all headed in the same direction, as it were. My name is Zul'Amar. Nice to meet you both. And both myself and Vitani here are from Saint Sister.
Pleasure.
Who might you be?
My name is Mist. It's nice to meet you. My friend over there is Augie. She points at him and kind of like waits for him to introduce himself a little more.
He doesn't. He continues to work. You can hear a from him.
She kind of shrugs. So sorry.
But it's not as if he's not noticing them. He does occasionally look up, but he is currently busy with something that he sees as important. And it is very difficult for him to shake himself off of that.
She shrugs and kind of smiles at his quirks and does a little like, what can you do? Movement of her shoulders and says, don't worry about him. You'll get used to him.
Vitani just gives a shrug in response and keeps unloading some of her stuff. A pack full of food and her sword both clanging heavily against the top of the table. She stands at about 6 foot. Her skin is gray like ash, and her hair is silvery white, and all along her skin are cracks that glow like broken earth and magma, and her eyes give off the same glow.
Well, it is very nice to meet you both. And it's been quite a long day for us both. Been stuck in a cart, blindfolded, all day. So, apologies if Vitani isn't as chatty as he's normal.
He didn't miss much.
Very fair.
Brother Bishop is not exactly a spectacle.
Is that where we passed through?
Yes.
Rather loud, as it were.
You live here long enough, you can stop hearing it. Show me your sword for a second, please.
Excuse me?
Your sword. Please, show me your sword.
All right. Vitani will lift her sword back up off the table and walk over to Augie and unsheathe both ends of a double-sided scimitar.
He looks it over. How long has it been since the weapon's been sharpened?
She likely sharpened it that morning, but has since made kills with it. So I guess it could use another sharpening.
He looks at it. You maintain it well enough.
Thank
Not
you.
bad.
Hunter's got to take care of her tools, right?
Absolutely. He reaches into one of his pockets and he pulls out another whetstone. And he basically slides it along the table towards you, in case you didn't bring one.
Tani will reach out and take the whetstone with a disbelieving sort of grin on her face. Thanks.
No, don't mention it. And he goes right back to his work.
And as he does, she'll put her sword back in its sheath and take it back over to her things on that table.
Mist watches the exchange with a bit of a smirk on her lips, glad to not be the only one who sees his quirks, to put it nicely. unable to help herself, she kind of looks at them again and says, "So where are you from? What's your district?"
We're
We
from.
come from. Oh, go for it.
No, you go.
We're from Saint Sister, the place of lumber and arts.
She looks very
Work.
curious and kind of scooches a little closer, takes another step forward. "And what do you do there?"
Depending on who you ask, we get ourselves into trouble. Not that it's any of my doing.
Listen, you could tell me no. You could not come along with me, but you make the choice.
If you say so. I feel as if I don't really have much of a choice in the matter. As far as what we do, I am the son of the chief, the eldest child, and Vitani does as she pleases. Mostly
Um,
hunting.
She looks quite pleased with the answer and kind of nods to them and says, "Sometimes you have to do what you have to do, and your choices aren't always, and things aren't always what other people expect them to be.
Right, you are.
Here, things aren't so easy either. They're,
No, no, they are not.
I'm assuming you both are from Brother Bishop then.
I am.
Yes, it definitely made the walk a lot shorter.
Must be nice.
Indeed.
And anyway, I'm just happy to get out of it.
And what roles do you both have, or did have, within Brother Bishop?
Um,
Perhaps I asked the wrong question.
well, she kind of does a little smirk and looks a little sheepish before finally saying, "I do what I have to survive."
That's fair. Well, of course, there's no expectation to answer anything that you don't feel comfortable. I mean, we obviously don't know one another. I wouldn't want to make anybody uncomfortable.
Vice Baron, you're being very, very, very modest. You don't just do what you do. You're very good at what you do. Be proud of it.
Well, now I'm getting curious.
I mean, survival is its own skill. Living, I haven't always had it easy, so I learned to survive. I learned to provide for myself, and learned how to pay attention, I guess. I've never really had a for real job, if that's what you're meaning.
Well, as for what I do, it depends on when you ask me. I have trained as a builder, as a tinkerer, but for the past little while I've been dabbling in professional curiosity, if you will. I have made my trade investigating and trying to solve questions that needed answered. Unfortunately, when you see some of the seedy underbelly of the society you live in, you lose your want to see more. Whatever it was we did, though, that life is over. For all of us.
Too right you are.
And on that note, you three spend the next 3 days sort of tiptoeing around one another in an awkward kind of tense, not animosity, but curiosity. You get to know one another, maybe have a few drinks, and then on the last day, in walks, via one of the envoys, uh, Ahsoka and Rhea, who is still in handcuffs.
Is there like still a person that's leading us in?
Yeah, the envoy leads you in, and then when you are both inside the door, they close it behind you.
My axe!
It's on you.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got your axe.
I thought they would have taken it away from me or
No,
something.
they didn't take any of your bags or any of your weapons or anything. They just handcuffed you.
Okay. Oh.
For this, I'm actually sitting in a corner smoking my pipe, filling the air with tobacco, which may be pleasant or unpleasant depending on who you are.
Ray is unfazed.
Zulamar is sitting in another corner, just reading a book that he found lying in one of the rooms, and unfazed by the smoking.
Mist is currently sitting at the table, playing with a small box, that is her poisoning kit, tinkering with ideas and plans for future recipes. When the handcuffed woman walks in, and that was the first thing she noticed, and kind of like gave a bit of a excited smile before concealing her face and looking back towards Augie. See if he noticed.
Well, he noticed.
Rhea
He's just
had a
like
moment.
sitting there, just staring, just like that kind of creepy stare. It's just like he's glaring too much.
When they enter, Zulamar sets his book down and rises to his feet, watching as the envoy departs. And I'm assuming Rhea is still handcuffed. Like the envoy leaves without uncuffing her. Okay. So Zulamar looks at her and then looks at the door and then says, "Is there any particular reason why they're leaving you in cuffs?"
I don't think they can trust me. Isn't that what they do to criminals?
So you're a criminal?
Some might say. Rhea had like a moment of panic after the blindfold came off, not knowing where her axe was, but now like assessing herself and like looking herself over, making sure she has all her belongings. She kind of eased off, but then she just kind of has like, you'll kind of see her like face go from like a stern, like indifference to like the kick puppy look.
Well, we knew that there'd be likely to be criminals upon this voyage, so anyone surprised by it should probably hold that in for now. But I'm going to ask before it becomes an embarrassment later. What did you do? And to whom did you offend?
I defended myself. I offended my entire city.
I'm going to roll an insight check on that, because I want to get a little bit more than just the story here.
Okay.
Sure. Do I like roll opposing?
Well, I don't know if you're trying to be deceptive
Yeah,
or
if you're trying to
evasive
be
or anything.
deceptive, you can. But if not, if you're just being honest, then it's just.
That's pretty honest. She's just not like wanting to talk,
All
I
right.
guess.
Don't worry, make your roll.
So I rolled an 11.
All right.
Do I sense that she's being honest and forthright and that this is what...
You kind of. You're not entirely sure. You don't know this person yet. You get the feeling that, like, that seems honest enough. Maybe? You don't know. You have trouble trusting people.
Ahsoka's just kind of like looking around the room, trying to like see who's all there because she's also getting adjusted to the surroundings. She's been blindfolded for a while.
Rhea's gonna kind of turn away from everyone and go to like a secluded area of the room. And just kind of take a seat against the wall.
Yeah, there are bedrooms if you guys just want to like stay in the bedrooms.
Okay. Spice Van, could you bring me her axe, please?
She looks a little bit concerned by this because the woman was in handcuffs or is in handcuffs, but kind of goes, well, okay.
Not confiscating it, if you must know.
And when you actually look at Rhea's axe, you'll actually see that it's pretty sharp. It hasn't been used for a moment, given the circumstances. But it's extremely well taken care of, and Rhea sharpens it quite often. It's actually part of like the abilities she has honed for a while.
It's not Brother Bishop construction, but it'll do. You're not in handcuffs, so I'll make sure that your axe is sharpened for you. We need to make sure our weapons are perfect when we get down there. I do not wish to put our lives in the hands of anything dull and unkept.
You and your weapons. Vitani had just been kind of pacing leisurely throughout the room and blowing smoke in a subtle, not mock in the true sense, but like a little imitation of Augie and his pipe. When
absolutely
the others
mocking.
absolutely mocking. When the others were brought in, she had stopped. And is there like a bar or anything in this room?
There's probably like glasses of like very weak like alcohol. Not really even so much alcohol. It's mostly just like water and like fruit juices and things like that. It's like bare minimum. It's like a breakfast bar kind of a thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean like a physical structure for her to like lean against, like a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. When they're brought in, she kind of leans back against the bar to watch everything happen. Her attention is focused on the handcuffs specifically and the vague explanation that Rhea gives. She wants to know more, but she's also not the type to pry, so she doesn't ask.
Zulmar steps forward. He points to Augie and then says, "You might actually need to be checking over my mace, but we'll get to that in a moment. And I just wanted to ask the names of the two people who've just joined us. My name is Zulmar. My friend over there, that's puffing her own version of smoke, is Vitani. The other two can introduce themselves, but I would love to know the names of the two that have joined us, if you feel so inclined."
Rhea.
I'm Ahsoka. She's on fire. And she kind of points to Vitani. And she's like concerned about why she's on fire. Because she doesn't know what a genasi is.
We have Genasi and Brother Bishop.
You do?
We do? Alright. I'm just gonna sit there and I'm just gonna say, please don't be racist.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, they probably have them, but seeing them in a place where there's a lot of wood, they wouldn't congregate around like forests and things. So you not seeing or not realizing you were seeing a genasi is completely understandable.
Yeah. Also, Ahsoka's very oblivious. She doesn't know a lot of stuff like that, like
Yeah, she
social norms.
very much.
Like, she'll
Zulma just
ask.
chuckles. Yes. She is of the fire variety of Ganassi. She's meant to be trying to keep it a minimum in case this building is not fireproof like the ones back home. But she can't really help that.
At least the fire's not out in the open, Zuli.
This is fair.
I'm not gonna burn anything. I'm not gonna burn anything. I have more control over myself than that, but thank you for
Mhm.
the vote of confidence. And
Just a
Ahsoka,
reminder.
thank you. Yes, sometimes I do need it. Ahsoka, you said?
Yes.
Don't worry, it's I'm always on fire.
Cool. Or should I say hot? I don't know. I don't know the right words.
Hot is good. Hot is
Okay.
good.
Zulma just refrains from making any faces. And then approaches Rhea and uh, Ahsoka and just asks, "Am I to assume the two of you are from the last city of the three of us? Of the three? Maiden Mother, is it?
Mother
Yes.
Maiden.
Yeah, Mother Maiden. Everybody gets
Mother Maiden.
confused.
It's interchangeable.
Appreciate that correction. I do apologize for that.
We're not offended. It's okay.
And for Rhea, my only question is, do you pose a threat to anyone in this room?
I do not.
Excellent.
I have no intentions of hurting anyone that does not come at me as a threat themselves.
Fantastic. I don't believe any of us will be coming at you with any wish to harm. So, does somebody with more experience with cuffs like to come over here and remove these from her? I feel like it's not polite.
Just out of character, what, like, would that involve, like, the thieves' tools, or would that be like a sleight of hand roll, or
Picking locks would be thieves' tools.
thieves' tools?
We both have lock picks on us for just.
Okay.
I figured both of you would have. And then if worst comes to worst, I don't know what the cuffs are made of, but
Metal.
I'm certain Vitani would like
Yeah.
to melt things.
Yeah, Augie gives a meaningful glance to Mist. It's like, and his eyebrow raises, and he says in Dwarven, "Do you want to?"
She kind of smiles at him
I understands that.
and nods and responds in Dwarvish as well and says, I will, and then crosses the room. And then back in common language, she says to Rhea and kind of the group, as well as like kind of directed at Rhea and Ahsoka, but as well as kind of the group. My name is Mist. So nice to meet you. As long as you aren't going to hurt anyone, I'll take those off of you. Shouldn't be a problem.
Was Rhea instructed that they were going to remove them before they go below?
Yes.
So knowing that they will be removed from her, but knowing she still has a whole day, they didn't necessarily, I don't know if they've warned her about any kind of escape attempt made, but
No.
she's just going to shrug and they didn't say they would do anything if they came off. So she just kind of hands them forward.
To be fair, you know that there isn't really going to be an escape attempt made by you because there was the entire wall that you had to go through, and that wall like sealed back up after, and literally the only thing on the like tiny edge of the plateau that you are on is this house.
And on the other hand, the way Augie looks at it is, it's another question of whether or not it's illegal or not, or because he doesn't care at this point. If it's against the rules to do it, what are they going to do? Send him down below?
Yeah.
They're already.
That was Zulamar's thought as well. And also,
Yeah.
he's like, I would prefer that we all be on equal footing, and he
Yeah.
doesn't know if theirs are coming off before being sent below, and that just seems like, why would everyone but her
And
have?
Sounds fucking
His-
cruel.
whether or
His
not
concern is more to consult Mist and say, hey, do you want to? Do you feel comfortable with that? And if so, he's like,
Right.
all right, go for it.
and whether or not Rhea feels like it's a concern to the people sending them below, she knows herself that she's not gonna try to escape. So she'll hold them out for her to.
Okay, so with that, Mist is quick to pull out these tools and makes quick work of unlocking the handcuffs if that is possible.
It's going to be a dex check, I think.
Okay.
You're using dexterity because you have proficiency in the tools. You can also add your proficiency bonus to it.
So I can add +2 to whatever I roll.
Yeah. For anyone wondering, Drake is like DM below me.
The walking DM.
Yeah.
Backseat
the way
DM.
the way tools work is the DM picks an ability, be it strength, constitution, or whatever, and then the tools give you your proficiency bonus. But if you do not have proficiency in the tool, you can't even attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 14.
Yeah, you take out your tools, you fiddle with the lock, you think for a second that it's not gonna work. It seems a little stuck, but you stop and you take a second and you just take a breath and then click, and one of them opens, the other one does not.
Take that. She kind of looks at them, looks a little bit frustrated that she didn't do it perfectly, but then looks back up at Rhea, because Rhea is very tall, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, just making sure. Looks up at Rhea and kind of goes, well, that'll have to do then, unless someone else can get them the rest of the way. I'm not 100% familiar with with outside of Brother Bishop technology.
I can break it off.
That's up to you.
They've already informed me that they'll be removed. It's okay.
Oh.
I appreciate the attempt.
Actually, I prefer the aesthetic of one a cuff on. It tells them that we are experiencing a bit of defiance before we get down. Don't know what the laws are like in your part of the plateau, but well, we've spent a bit too much time trying to enforce the law to really value them. And there's a sigh.
I'm assuming you're not a fan of your life here as either.
I'm going to be.
With that.
This place is a bit of a shithole.
Anything could be better than this, even death.
Surprised to find others that feel the same way.
Well,
And with
yeah.
that, you guys go to your respective rooms. If you share them, that's up to you. I'm not going to enforce anything. You sleep where you need to. You rest in the morning. Breakfast is already on the bar. And there is a very gentle knock at the door around sunrise.
I will answer it because I don't go to bed. Because I don't sleep.
When you open the door, there is a short, maybe 5'1", 5'2" woman with very small, pointed ears. She has blue and pink hair pulled up into a very messy bun. There is a one of those hair sticks. I don't know if they've got like a specific name or not, but it's sticking in her hair, holding her bun together, and it has a little bunch of gems and jewels and things hanging off one end. She has very pale, almost like shimmery skin, and big, bright, light blue eyes. And she looks up and she goes, "Oh, hello, good morning. May I come in?"
I wait for her to come in, and I go to work on breakfast.
Thank you so much. My name's Destiny. I'm going to be your guide down below. Um, as soon as everyone's ready, just let me know. I have some things for all of you for when we decide to go, if that's okay. Just tell me where I can wait, and I'll go sit there.
I motion to a chair, and wherever you like. It's your hut.
Oh, it's not technically mine. I work here.
Don't care. Breakfast is ready, and we have visitors. I don't care.
Zulumar quickly comes down the stairs, having just finished chit-chatting with Vitani, and immediately greets the woman and says, "Hello, so sorry, didn't realize that someone had shown up already. Please, have a seat." He pulls out a chair at the table, and encourages her to sit down.
Thank you.
Um, yes, please, if the man has got some breakfast free, I'm sure I'd be more than happy to get you a plate. Would you like one?
Oh, no, thank you. I don't eat.
Okay, not a problem.
Uh,
And your name is?
I'm Destiny.
Ah, nice to meet you, Destiny. My name
You
is
you don't
Zulumar.
have to tell me your name.
Oh, okay.
she's a bureaucrat.
Uh, no, I'm a painter.
A painter, you
Rhea,
say?
Rhea's just doing that alt emo boy stance up against the wall, arms folded across the room, just kind of staring down at her.
She's going to sit down, and when she does, the skirts of her pants, because she's wearing those cool like pants that flow out into skirts, are going to just sort of plume out and just sort of float a little bit off the floor. You notice now that none of her clothes actually touch the floor, and she is barefoot, and she's just going to sit with her hands folded in her hat and her lap, and there's a little like satchel on her side, and she's just looking at you all, smiling, waiting for you to finish breakfast.
I walk up to Rhea and I give her a pat on the shoulder and hand her a plate. I'm not gonna ask her to sit down or anything like that, but it's more like just hand her the plate and just give her a nod.
Rhea's gonna nod back and munch on any kind of meat.
Mist comes downstairs with all her stuff. She doesn't leave anything behind in her room. And quickly looks over the newcomer and opens her mouth to start saying her name. Hi, I'm Mist. Nice to meet you.
Good morning. I'm Destiny.
Kind of looks her over closely, and you're here to meet us?
Yes, I'm going to be the one that takes you down below.
She looks a little surprised by the kind voice of the person who's taking them down below. She kind of nods and says, "Well, your funeral."
Oh, I do this all the time. I'm one of the only people that can, actually.
Oh,
This piques her interest.
Um,
it's not
so
her funeral, it's ours.
Well, I wouldn't say that. That's being pessimistic.
Ahsoka comes down the stairs as well, but she sees that there's so many people in the room that she just kind of stays back, like towards a wall. She doesn't really like jump into the breakfast just yet. She's just kind of hanging out in the back. And she kind of looks at Destiny and she's a little confused as to why someone who's barefoot is here. Because wouldn't that hurt her feet?
She just sits and waits.
While Vitani is sitting at the table that she and Zuli were originally at, that Destiny is now also seated at, if I'm not mistaken. She's still waking up. Vitani's not a morning person. So she's just eating and processing everything slowly as she actually gets acclimated to being awake.
Miss grabs a plate of food and just kind of, while half looking out the window and half looking back at the group, scarfs down her food pretty quickly.
How long do we have?
Once you're ready.
Zulmar grabs a plate and hands one to Ahsoka, having noticed her not going forward to grab a food. And then grabs a plate of his own and sits back down and expectantly waits for Destiny to share more of what's going on.
Oh, thank you. Did you hunt this morning, or was that somebody else?
Oh, it's all Augie's doing the cooking.
There was food in the larder. I made it because I was up.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And it's like gives a wave. It's like that's nothing.
Vitani gives a louder grunt in thanks.
Out of character, is this like a dick fighting competition between who can grunt the loudest?
At this point, yes.
Okay.
Well, Vitani will get into one. She would do it.
Oh, she would.
Now, whether Augie engages is another thing.
If he even realizes that one's occurring.
But yeah, Destiny just waits until you guys are all finished. She just sits there. Her eyes are a little like bright, and when all of the dishes are put away and everybody's gathered downstairs, she stands up and she smiles and she starts rooting through the little bag on her hip, and she goes, "All right, so I have these pins. I give them to everyone. What district were you from? What city?"
Zuli and I are from Saint Sister.
All right. And she hands you two little pins that have SS on them that you can pin wherever you want or do whatever you want with. These are for you.
Thank you.
No problem. Everyone else?
Maiden, mother. Mother maiden. See, I did it.
Oh, yeah, me and Rhea are maiden mother.
All right, and she hands you two similar pins, but they have M and M on them.
Mm.
And if it's not obvious, the last two of us are Brother Bishop.
All right. Before she hands those, she looks at Rhea and she goes, "Oh, did they not come by this morning? Oh, I'll get it." And she reaches out and she waves a hand over the handcuff, and it goes from being on your wrist to hers. Except for it's just the one cuff; it's not both of them. And she just like leaves it hanging on her wrist like it's jewelry, and then turns and hands out the last two, which have BB on them, to Mist.
Miss takes hers and just kind of like drops it in the bottom of her bag and hands one to Augie without a word.
Augie just slips it into a pocket. He doesn't give a shit about this pin shit. Oh, look. Try. I'm not wearing that.
Rhea pins it on her little like lapel, but it just kind of gets lost in all the fur.
And I also have these for you. And she holds out two handfuls, or just her hands are cupped together, and she has in her palm 6 bright blue like river rocks. And you all know what these river rocks are. These are endless water rocks.
Oh, shit.
And and they can fill a water skin instantly if you just put it to the top of a water skin.
Oh,
And it will
That-
always produce fresh water.
sick.
Nice.
That's one for
That
me.
is. I give a look at it. I put down my little magnifying tinkering glass. That is actually useful.
No
I have some
problem.
ideas for that one.
And other than that, I don't have anything else for you. Come on, follow me. She starts walking outside, opens the door, and nods for you guys to follow her.
Miss sticks the rock in one of the pockets kind of close to her chest because it's a fancy rock and she likes fancy rock. Grabs her stuff and starts heading towards the door while keeping an eye on Augie and then tangentially at all.
Moment to light up one last puff before we go down.
Ahsoka
bring his wife.
puts the pin and the
Right.
rock in her bag and leaves.
I just take a look around and
Zulema puts the pin in one pocket and the stone in the other, and then follows after Destiny.
Vitani sticks the pin in the leather strap over her hip and grabs her stuff and follows Zuli and the others out.
I would like everyone to roll a perception check.
Dang it, you're gonna make me fall.
I love rolling things.
Okay.
20.
7.
16.
Okay.
Joe 20. Hello.
Woo!
So 22.
Oh my god. I got it. Wait, hold on. You said perception check?
Yes, perception check.
4.
Okay.
Ooh,
Let's see.
that
Here's-
tracks for Ahsoka.
Pierce got a nat 20
Damn!
on perception. Is that everyone?
I think so.
Okay. So I think Drake and Ahsoka. You guys got below a 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anyone else get below 10?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
So everyone but Drake and Ahsoka notice that as Destiny is walking, it's kind of warmer around her, and there are flowers blooming wherever, like, in her footsteps. And she walks you guys to the edge of the plateau, and she sort of drops down into a squat and pats the earth, and you hear this cranking and clunking and churning, and after about 5-10 minutes, up from the bottom pulls this sort of gazebo looking affair, and it sort of shakes a little as it rests on the top, and she reaches out and she unlatches the gate and she steps inside of it, and she smiles and says, "All right, come on in."
Mist sort of examines the gazebo contraption a minute before stepping inside.
It is wooden. It has lattices on it. There are little flowers painted on the inside. The tops have glass slats so you can see above. And the floor is a mixture of wooden slats and clear glass so you can see below as well. And from what you can see, there is a track that goes downward.
Rhea's gonna be the last one in the gazebo as she just kind of stares out, looking over the fog one last time.
Great. And everybody's in now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You've all said your goodbyes and you ready?
Quite a what?
As
Yeah,
ready
right.
as we'll ever be, I suppose.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Guess so.
I'm going to warn you now. If you ever get any sense of vertigo, that's normal. If I look like I'm about to pass out, that's also normal. Um, don't. I really hope none of you are squeamish. Are any of you squeamish?
Miss shakes her
No.
head.
Okay,
No.
that's good.
Fortunately, not.
That's really good. Okay. Um, pardon me in advance. And she's going to reach out to one of the poles that is there, tap it a few times with the back of her hand, and a blade is going to shoot out, and she's just going to stab her hand onto the blade, and the blood, instead of splurting out like you expect it to, is going to bubble up like it's frothing, and then pass around her palm and just sort of sink into the wood, and then you feel and hear this clunk, and the gazebo starts to slowly descend. And as it does, you all very slowly get to see this. It's loading right now. Let's just give it a second. Hopefully it's loading.
An atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh look, so there is land down underneath.
Oh, you're not underneath the fog yet. You're heading to the fog.
Oh,
Whoops.
No, it's understandable. You did not expect to see this because all you've ever seen has always been that the fog is right there at the lip. So seeing this is kind of confusing.
so there's land in the fog.
Oh, there's a lot down there.
What do you mean by a lot?
Well, you'll see. Don't worry.
Tani is getting excited as the gazebo descends.
It can be a little overwhelming at first, but don't worry. It catches up and you get used to it soon. And the gazebo is just going to slowly just kind of crank downwards. In the beginning, it's very loud and clunky and it vibrates a lot, and then after a certain while, it sort of snaps onto a different track, and the ride just becomes this smooth, soundless, eerie kind of floating feeling. And all of you feel it. It just feels sort of like you're. Have you ever been on one of those swing set rides at a fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know when it lifts you off of the seat?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Feel like that for a couple of seconds.
Mm.
And then the gazebo touches down at the top of the fog, and it stops. And Destiny yanks her hand off the blade, shakes it, and just kind of like rubs over the wound, and it starts to slowly just sort of mend back together. Alright, so this is the first checkpoint. This is where I am obligated to ask, are you positive that you want to do this?
We've come this far already.
You all feel that way?
What she said.
Don't see a way to turn back. So yeah.
Oh, there are ways.
Like Rhea
What?
just stays quiet.
Alright, if you're sure.
I before I answer, I look at Mist.
She gives him a small nod.
Well, if she's ready, then I'm ready.
Okay. Well, here we go. I will warn you, you might get sick. And if you are, that's fine. Just do it over the side. And she's gonna stab her hand back into the blade, and the lurching that you felt from before is just multiplied Only this time I need all of you to roll constitution checks.
Boy,
Shit. How do I do
Rhea
that again?
can't hold her liquor. Let's see if she gets nauseated on this kind of thing.
21.
22.
Con.
21, 22,
9.
9. Okay.
Wait, is this a check or a
14?
save?
It's just a check. It's not a save.
Okay.
14?
And that's just a regular d20, right?
Yeah, regular d20. And then you just add whatever your constitution modifier is.
Mist is gonna puke.
Tea.
What did you roll? I didn't hear you.
9.
Okay.
15.
15.
Be right back.
Rhea rolled a 14.
Okay.
A 16.
Okay. Is that everyone?
I think so.
What are all
Yeah.
the numbers?
I think everybody rolled above, except for Larl above a 10, which was, your tipping point again.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I know that somebody rolled a 21.
Nice.
Um,
I heard a meow.
I heard
He
that.
is like right in my face.
Aww.
For having no constitution, I am pretty good at constitution.
Apparently. So,
Ooh, you got fish breath.
as soon as the bottom of the gazebo hits the fog, it's just very cold. And you get this feeling like something is creeping up, like little insects are crawling up your legs the further into the fog you go, and it just gets worse the more that encompasses your shoulders, and it's starting to feel like it's suffocating you, and you feel like it's like clogging your throat, and it's pouring into every pore you have. It's in your nose, it's in your ears, it's like fogging up your eyes. You can't see anything, and the world goes white for a minute because all it is fog. You know that there's ground beneath you. You feel the presence of other people around you. Larl, you cannot handle this. This is too much, and you start to get a little wigged out, and you instinctively turn around upon suggestion, and you just hork over the side,
Oh, glad it's out.
and you're left a little by it. And as you do, once you're finally finished, and you wipe the back of your hand, across your mouth, the fog slowly lifts, and as it lifts, it starts from the beginning. It starts from the top of the gazebo, and it just goes down until eventually, you're out of the fog. And you look up as this continued, ride happens, and you see this from the top of the gazebo.
Oh, I have something on my screen, and I thought there was like something walking within the mist in the background. That scared me so bad. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that?
Don't do that.
That's horrifying.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's not as bad.
That's exceptionally funny.
Mist
So
is
are
sort of
we-
clutching the side of the gazebo escalator door torture trap and looks somehow through her fur a little green still. But her eyes are brightening up quickly as she looks around, and you can see the wheels turning in her head as about 1,000,010 questions run through her brain.
So are we officially beneath the fog?
You're
Or
you're beneath the top layer, yes.
Top
The-
layer?
I'm sorry,
top
what?
layer?
You're beneath the top layer.
So there's
How
more?
many layers are there?
A few.
Define a few.
What's
Can
the
I
fun in
roll a
that?
perception to see like how truthful that is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or insight?
Insight.
An insight, you said?
Insight, yeah.
Okay. 15 plus 2, 17.
I did not do personal whisper notes. So
Yeah, we do need those.
I got you. I have you. If Drake is back yet, he could make some personal whisper notes while I do this.
Just DM for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a personal
All right.
whisper note?
It's a
like a
channel that's
private
locked
channel.
only between us and the DM.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'll set it up.
Absolutely
Thank
secret
you.
channel that we aren't all allowed to know about.
I see.
Kind of like how-
International
Yeah, kind of like how
super spy.
Maiden Mother, Saint Sister, Brother Bishop, those are all like super secret things. This one's
Gotcha.
for
Yeah.
individuals.
I see.
I was actually about to do like a perception or insight check to find out like what she is.
We'll get to that in a second while I'm typing this out.
Okay.
Dang it.
If Mist wasn't covered in a little bit of vomit right now, she'd
I'm
probably have
sorry.
some questions.
Zulamar has questions too, but he just wants,
You
wants
okay?
to try to perceive something first. He's tried very hard not to ask a million questions.
I was gonna ask if I could use my special anti-nausea cantrip, but the scene went by so fast.
Yeah, no, that was with the amount it wouldn't have mattered because that was just a quick come up kind of a thing.
Gotcha. Oh. Poor baby.
Oh, I have that stuck in my head now. I'm an international
Super
spy.
spy.
I love that so much. I have
That's
other
not what I wanted
TikTok
to do.
audios playing
Okay.
in my head right now.
Frappi, I have sent you a personal message. Who else wanted to do what now?
What? Oh, man. Damn it. Okay. I just saw that we're at a limited edition. Zulamar wanted to do, I don't know which one it is, but he wanted to see if he can figure out what Destiny is.
That I think would be a history check.
Okay. $17.
17.
Hi.
Can I start like typing into the private DMs, or should I keep doing it in like?
Once you see their names there, then yeah, you can go right ahead.
Okay.
It's set up at that point, more or less.
17.
Hi. Yeah.
Did anyone else want to do anything else?
I think I'm good.
I am also good.
Okay, so you continue down the side of the slope. Very occasionally, you'll see, like a bird fly through, or the gazebo will rattle, and right before you think you've reached the bottom of another layer of fog, the gazebo stops again, and Destiny pulls her hand off. She stops and she's rubbing her hand. She's starting to get, like, she was pale before, but now she's starting to get sort of like a green kind of pale. And see, she's kind of trembling a little bit at the shoulders, but she just smiles through it, rubs her hand, and then looks around and goes, "All right, is everybody ready for the next leg?"
Not about to stop now.
You're good.
Carry on, right?
Okay.
You can handle it.
Oh, I've done it before.
How long have you been doing this, Destiny?
A while. And she's
Miss
gonna.
looks a little annoyed and says, "Do you ever give straight answers?"
She's just gonna laugh, and then stab her hand again, like looking directly at you while she does this.
Jeez.
See why the
Zulamar
gondola
cringes at
starts
this
in.
point.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Zulamar cringes just a little bit, like flinches.
I don't know about Brother Bishop, but I don't think I've ever gotten a straight answer in my entire life.
You get used to it.
Anybody
And
that wants to make
mazes.
a perception check can make a perception check here. It's entirely up to you on if you want to or not.
How do you do that?
19.
Okay.
I would like
Rhea
to.
might not see much.
17.
10.
Okay.
17.
15.
Perception.
Yeah.
15.
18.
Okay, Larl, what did you get?
17.
Okay, roll that with disadvantage real quick.
Aw.
Oh.
There's a
Aw.
reason. There's a reason.
16.
Okay, you're fine.
Pow.
Rhea, you do not see it. Everyone else. So, when Destiny stabs her hand, obviously the blood bubbles and it, goes around her palm, and you think that, it disappears after that, right? That's what you assume. As you're looking around the gazebo, you notice that it's not disappeared. It's winding around the wood itself and going along the floor around the edges, and it is currently what is oiling the gears for the gazebo to move.
I want to make an Arcana check on that
Okay.
to see if I recognize it as any kind of cantrip I have any sort of experience with.
Go ahead.
I rolled well. I rolled a 21.
Cool. I am just gonna tell everyone this because it's just a sort of thing. Everybody has a personal kind of thing that they can do. And you've never heard of any kind of magic doing this, but I guess it's hers. Controlling blood, that seems kind of chill.
I've heard of minor control of blood being a thing that could happen.
You you'll
Interesting.
you'll see it happen. You're just kind of like everybody at Rhea. You're just kind of like, well, that's certainly a thing. You break through the
Well, Rhea's
bottom.
she's probably too busy looking out over the edge.
Oh yeah, you break through the bottom of the fog, and there's only handful of meters left until you come to a flat, sort of circular wooden deck. And when you finally get there, Destiny pulls her hand off of the spike. The spike pops back into the gazebo, and she walks toward the gate, and she stands in front of it, and she looks at all of you, and she says, "Okay, so past this point, past the wooden surface, I cannot go. I will be back in 2 weeks to see if you want to come back up. You're free to if you do. Um, if you're not here in 2 weeks, I understand. It won't be the first, protocol. Um, beyond this point, I cannot do anything for you. If you have any questions or requests, let me know now."
So, no one has come back from that barrier?
No.
that was going to be my question. You've never had anyone return when you come back in 2 weeks,
No,
but you don't know where they go.
no. But I always come back, and I always wait.
Does anyone ever come back to talk to you?
No.
If we do come back, and we do, well, I guess this only pertains to me, and I do the thing that no one else has, what's asked of us, will I be able to return?
Of course.
Really?
Yes, you'd be accepted into the central city. You wouldn't be able to go back to your old home, but
Understood.
Ahsoka hears not being able to go home, and she's like, "Gonna miss Winter Hunt."
oh, you'd be able to go back to your old home. No problem. It's just her that won't be able to go back.
Oh, you're gonna miss
See.
Winter Hunt. I'm sorry.
It was really the only good part about it.
Well, I have no further questions.
All right. And you're all sure? You're positive? This is
My
Absolutely.
questions are answered out there.
Okay. She steps aside and she opens the gate and she waves you into this dense wall of fog that sort of domes around the wooden platform.
Well, it was very nice to meet you, Destiny. I, for one, would like to at least be here in 2 weeks, at least to say hello. I don't imagine I'd want to come back. I don't know. But I hope you do have a safe travel back up.
Oh, I always do. When you all exit the gazebo, Destiny closes the little latch and she looks at you and she just kind of sighs. She's still smiling, but you can tell that that's just a sad, tired sigh. And she turns around and she just sits on the floor of the gazebo and she goes, well, 2 weeks. And then you watch as the gazebo just rockets, like at unbelievable speeds, back up the mountain.
Shit.
Just didn't want to hang around a little bit.
Right.
So the 6 of you are left standing on a circular or half circular wooden platform pressed against the mountain, and all around you is a dome of fog.
So who's gonna touch it first?
Point. We're doing the final preparations. I've got a couple devices that I'm clicking onto my sleeve. Let's make sure you're ready. We won't have another opportunity. Make sure everything that needs to be secure is secure. Everything that needs to be sharp is sharp. I don't want to say that we are going to be in danger, but we might as well prepare for it. No one's come back, so.
Mist kind of pats her pockets and makes sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and puts both daggers in either hand and kind of gives him a nod before saying, well, it's what we're here for. No point waiting.
We'll take out our axe just to have it on hand before delving into the fog.
So you just jump in?
Well, I meant before we go into the fog.
Okay.
Not that she is delving into the fog, sorry.
Zulumar shifts his pack around on his back to make certain it's comfortable. He silently hands his simple mace over to Augie for inspection. It hasn't been sharpened recently. It was handed to him by his mother right before leaving, and Vitania had been fussing at him, wanting to sharpen it for him, and he said, later. We'll deal with it later.
And now it's later.
I'm looking at the quality of it. All right. You don't exactly sharpen a mace, but you do make sure that it is well maintained. You make sure that the haft is solid. And so I put it down, and I take one of the things that's hanging off my shoulder, and I click on it, and it kind of opens up into a bunch of little tiny spider arm things. And I put it over, and I start to concentrate on it, and it starts to animate. And then I go through and I basically cast mending on the mace while it goes in, and it makes sure that the wood is in tip-top condition, and it introduces little spider silk mending to any cracks that it might have or anything like that, and just to restore it back to its old condition or its original condition.
Atlas in another universe feels really excited.
Not many people can do this.
It's a rather
Miss
nifty
Watch
thing to be
is
able to do.
clearly a little bit surprised. She didn't know he had this many tricks in his tool belt, so to speak.
Sunfarl, I only have one trick in my tool belt. I just get very good at using it. Here you go. Your mace is good as new.
Why, thank you. This looks better than the last decade I've seen it. Mounted to the wall.
Well, let's hope you don't have to use it.
Too right. Well, I'm ready if everyone else is.
In a time like the present.
If you're not ready, it's too late now.
Oh
Could have
man,
said
it's
so
already
up there.
too late. The gazebo's gone.
Unless you want to stay on this platform for 2 weeks.
I mean,
I'm ready to
Option.
head into the fog and see what else is beyond here.
Staying on the platform is a viable strategic survival option, but unfortunately will not accomplish what I want done, so...
I didn't come here to just survive.
And you all begin to walk forward. So you've all been in fog before. Not just this supernatural kind of creepy fog. It's been foggy where you live. It's part of seasons and things. This fog is dry as you walk into it.
oh,
It's dry, and it goes from this sicky kind of white to a awkward, thick yellow. And as you walk, you realize there is a wooden platform, sort of like a walkway, leading you through the fog, and it's... Give me a moment. It's curved a little, and you realize that you are walking over treetops and through bushes, and it's getting more and more yellow the longer you go, and you also realize you don't hear anything.
That's disorienting.
You don't hear that.
Wait, what?
You don't hear
Do
yourself.
I not hear myself speak?
You hear like yourself talking in your head as if you are thinking your own thoughts, but you do not hear any words coming out of your mouth.
So we can't hear each other? Can we see each other?
You can see each other. You're kind of tinted yellow, but...
Can I test it out? Like, to hear anything?
Sure.
Like, so Ahsoka kind of like leans over the edge, and I have this video of a whistle that she does, if that's okay.
That's fine.
It's in Gen Chat.
Yeah, you do your whistle, but no sound comes out.
Huh.
I grab a slab of metal about a thin card size slab of metal, and I put my hand over it and ooze into the metal and etch temporarily the words, "Am I the only deaf one?" And I hold it up to show the others.
Mist's eyes are wide and her ears are twitching, and she shakes her head at his sign.
Are you all still walking, or have you stopped?
Yeah, well, if people stop, I'll stop. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I say
we
Rhea's in the
also-
back and she sees everyone, or she at least sees Augie stop, and she saw Ahsoka lean over the edge and try to whistle. So she stopped as well.
Mhm.
the thing asking, and I nod to Miss to acknowledge I.
Zulema shakes his head in response and tugs at his ear.
Nod.
Out of character, are any of the trees like within touching range?
The tops of them, yeah, you can touch them.
By the way, out of character, my computer's starting to do everyone little robot-y, so if I get lost again, I apologize.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Lost
But
in the
it's holding
sounds.
in. It's holding up for right now.
Mist kind of kneels down at the edge of the platform and sort of pokes at the tree with the tip of her dagger blade to see if it seems to actually be real or if this is all some sort of strange illusion.
It's a tree.
It's a tree.
Cool.
I mean,
That's great.
if you could hear it rustling, it would rustle when you like poke the leaves and shake them.
Oh.
But it no sound.
Great.
Right.
I have anything that would make a difference.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a small length of rope, and I'm going to tie it around the slab. I'm just going to uninfuse the words that I've etched on it so they disappear. And then I'm going to infuse it with the ability to emit a sound. What it'll emit is the sound of chirping,
Of what?
which of chirping birds.
Ah.
I
Oh,
won't be able to hear it, but what I can do is I can toss it forward into the fog, and then if we start hearing chirping birds from it, then we know where the edge of the silence is. And so I can use that as kind of a scouting sort of thing.
Out of character, how far around us can we see?
See that picture?
Yeah.
That.
Okay.
that's
So we
Gotcha.
can't
great.
see the end of the walkway, and we can't see
No, you see
very
that
far
it
out into the
curves.
trees.
Yeah, you don't see that far out. The fog is pretty dense.
Gotcha.
Oh, normal BC weather then. Gotcha. Clunk. Clunk. It'll look very weird that I'm tossing the slab of metal and then, following the rope back in. But for me, I wouldn't have explained myself to them if they could hear me. Clunk.
Gotcha.
Clunk.
So you guys are walking?
Yeah.
Zulema starts following the old elf throwing the piece of metal.
Or you
So yeah.
continue down the path, take a couple of turns, still quiet, and then you think you hear something, but you don't know what it is. This may be just your imagination. And keep going. You make
Okay.
another turn. Oh, no, you definitely heard something that time, but it wasn't chirping.
I point to my ear, and I. Do you hear that on my back? Because I'm kind of in the front doing that. Do you hear that?
Perception checks.
Or tap me if you hear that.
Are we making any kind of check?
Yeah, perception.
Perception.
Am I able to, after the perception checks, to roll a nature check to see if I recognize the sound?
Oh yeah, that's what the perception check is for, to see if you recognize the
Mod
sound.
20.
Okay.
15.
19.
Did I miss anything big?
15.
12.
No, you didn't miss anything big.
So we're doing perception instead of nature.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm gonna? Okay.
Yeah. Because you're actively trying to hear.
19.
19. Is that everyone?
Hmm?
Okay. You hear something, and you take a second, and you just sort of focus on the silence. Just kind of let the world around you go quieter, and you just hear the softest little.
No, I want to go back.
What the hell was that?
Can we hear each
Point to
other?
my.
No, you
I
cannot hear
point
each
to
other.
my ear and I indicate the direction I'm hearing it from.
I was about to say, with a mod 20, do I know what direction it's coming from?
Behind you.
Or is it all around us?
Behind.
Zulamar sees the pointing in the direction behind us and turns very slowly.
Like directly behind me or just far, like in the direction of behind me?
In the distance. You don't see anything.
Okay. I was about to say, Rhea's going to start swinging if it's right behind her.
You know,
Wait.
you don't see
Out of
anything.
character, did Miss hear that? Since she was only.
Yes, you heard it too.
Okay.
And you were able to discern that it was a creepy little giggle.
Okay. Well, in that case, she kind of snaps around, eyes pretty big,
You don't see
and her
anything.
grip kind of tightens on her daggers.
Yeah, Rhea has her like axe up to her chest, like.
So I guess-
Ahsoka pulls out her longbow.
So you've all turned around?
Yes.
Okay. You're just standing there. Quiet. Don't hear anything. Training your ears. Don't hear anything. And then... from behind you.
It's on the other side of us now.
Off in the distance.
Something's toying with us.
Oh,
We still can't hear each other, can we?
Nope.
no.
Nope.
Oh my god.
I, fortunately, have found a ways to communicate. Take the slab. I'm gonna etch on. I think we're glamored.
We're what?
Glamored.
Can't hear that.
No,
Yeah, well,
but I'm saying
I
it says it on the thing. Like
No, I know,
it says the.
but
Yeah.
I wasn't certain if they heard what he said.
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking. What
Yeah.
he said. Vitani will tilt her head to show her confusion. Her way of asking, what does that mean?
I just give this glare on my face as if to say you're expecting a complicated explanation on a slab in 25 where like this exasperated like
And she throws her arms up back to gesture like, well, I don't know what it is. What do you want me to do?
Ray is gonna kind of like motion that they should just keep maybe moving forward because it's
Zulamar is
either
also going to motion the same.
they stay sitting
Yeah.
ducks or it
I-
finally shows itself.
Yeah,
I
Mist
point
is
to
already
them,
walking back in the direction
nod,
that
and
they
I'm like,
were originally headed.
plunk, plunk, plunk.
All right. Okay.
I don't like that sound.
You keep going.
There's
The DM rolling is always the bane of our existence.
You keep
It is a
going.
source of
Between
fear.
between a giggling sound and DM rolls. Oh god.
Ugh.
Get about 60 more feet round another corner. You feel a thump underneath your feet.
What was that?
Just a heavy thump, like somebody hit the bottom of something, but it's underneath your feet.
Batani braces and simultaneously grabs for Zuli's arm just to make sure she knows where he is.
Zulamar reaches out and puts a hand over Vitani's hand while staring wide-eyed beneath his feet at the planks.
Can Mist, like, drop down on her belly and kind of look under the side of the thing? Like, peek under
Sure,
the bottom of the deck?
sure.
Is it possible to see through the slats of the deck as well?
Yeah. You don't see anything.
Fantastic.
That's great.
Excellent.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
See maybe a tree rustle a little.
Is it dark under the bridge?
As dark as underneath a bridge can get, yeah.
Okay.
Noted. Vitani is going to draw her scimitar and hold it in her free hand.
So I
And
kind of
Zulamar is going to
sorry.
begin to inch forward.
want to do something. That's okay.
Cool. What do you want to do?
I kind of want Ahsoka to get like on her knee, like flat on the thing, and just kind of like look over the edge of the bridge to kind of see if she can see anything underneath, like
You and Miss
that
both
way.
doing that?
Yeah, that's what Mist just tried.
Oh no, like not through the cracks, but like over the edge.
You know, I looked through the cracks. Mist looked over the edge.
Oh,
Yeah,
never
I think,
mind.
Yeah, you can do it as well if you want.
Yeah, you can both do it.
Well, because I have dark vision, I didn't know if that would make a difference.
No.
No? Okay, that's great.
Also, I don't know who's like leading the line, but I'd say Rhea's probably in the back, and she kind of has her. She's not quite like facing directly forward, but she's not also like walking backwards either. She's kind of like sideways, kind of
Profile.
keeping a profile, kind of keeping an eye to the back of them.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you guys are creeping forward?
Yes.
Okay. Let me check something. Alright, Rhea,
Uh-oh.
Mist, and Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
The three of you are walking. You know, you're on your guard. Everything's good. You know that feeling of somebody blowing against the back of your ear?
I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess what you feel?
Exactly that.
The other three. Have you ever had somebody run their finger up your spine?
Oh boy.
You see the end of the
Zu-
bridge. It's in sight now.
But we still can't hear each other.
Not yet.
So Miss kind of does like a sketchy sidestep when she feels that and looks around behind her.
Nobody there?
And then when she, sorry?
Nobody's there.
And then when she sees the end of the bridge, she just starts running. Fuck this shit.
Fuck this shit.
Zulamar shivers when he feels the phantom sensation up the back of his spine. Or up his spine. There's no back of it. And then just glances over at Vitani. And then when he sees a mist bolt ahead, he kind of reaches out as if to stop her, but knows with his mouth hanging open he can't hear anything, can't even hear her footfalls, and just looks a little shaken.
Vitani is going to meet Zuli's gaze, and after Rhea runs past, she's gonna nod in Rhea's direction.
Well, that
let
was
go of him.
missed.
Missed! I got them mixed up, sorry.
That's okay.
Again, same gestures, same meaning, everything. She lets go of Zuli and then follows, expecting Zuli to follow her as well.
When Mist starts to bolt, Augie gets that sense, that same feeling, and he understands. So he reaches up to one of the things on his shoulder. He is starting to kind of twist it, bop it, do weird stuff, open it up a little bit.
Twist it,
bop
it.
And he's starting to insert power into it as he kind of swiftly follows behind, looking around, because he's...
Zulamar takes off to keep up with Vitani, knowing rather well how she is to just taking off and being able to be quick on his feet.
Rhea, Ahsoka, what are you two doing?
Yeah, Rhea was kind of still looking like behind them, and then she kind of turns her heads to see them all like taking off. She doesn't quite go as fast as them, but because she still wants to keep an eye on their rear, like straight down the path, not behind her where she felt the the breath, because she was facing profile. But yeah, she'll start following along, but trying to keep turning back to make sure nothing's following them.
So Ahsoka kind of like rubs at her ear because she felt that on her ear, and she kind of sees that everybody's also taken off, and just kind of, she's got her bow and her arrow ready for whenever, but she's following right behind.
Okay. Mist, you break the group first. You as you step off of the bridge, everyone that was behind her, Mist disappears.
Ooh.
She's become one with the mist.
Wait, so you're saying from Mist's point of view, she jumps off the end of the bridge?
As soon as she steps off of it, Mist's point of view is different from your guys's. What happens is you watch her just stop existing as soon as she steps off the bridge.
Oh. And what we see is fog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you see the end of the bridge, and then Mist is gone.
Poof.
Mist, I'm going to send you something.
No.
And you guys can keep running, or you can stop. It's up to you.
Augie is under the impression that they're not in an area where sound can't travel, but that there is someone messing with their senses. So he's operating under that assumption. With Pierre, he is in a panic at that. Like, everything else is just like, well, this is creepy. When Mist disappears, he lurches forward to follow, because this is... No, that is not permissible. That is not allowed.
Alright, so you jump off the edge of the bridge, which isn't
Yeah.
really much because it's literally the bridge is on the ground now. So you step off the bridge.
Yeah.
You disappear from everyone's view.
Oh, jeez.
Zulamar is just slightly slowing his pace while watching Vitani to see what she does.
Vitani's gonna skid to a stop as soon as she sees Mist disappear, and she's going to freeze entirely when Augie disappears as well. Let's see.
Zulamar comes up and stands beside her and puts a hand on her shoulder.
Do we have rope by any chance? Is there rope in our bags? Can I use that?
If you
Check
want to.
your.
All right,
You should. Most packs come with a hempen rope, 50 feet.
gotcha. So I'm gonna take a second to find the rope in my bag, and I'm gonna tie one end around my waist and the other around Zuli's waist, just in case.
Okay.
Zuli reaches his hand out, holds it out for her, looking at her expectantly to take it
And
with
she
a small
does.
shrug. And then they proceed towards the edge of the bridge.
Yep.
1 second. I gotta send something to the Brother Bishop gang.
Rhea's waiting to see if Zulamar basically goes flying after Vitani goes through, like indicating that they're falling to their doom, or
Yeah, Ahsoka's kind
waiting
of
to
hanging.
like grab him if if
Ahsoka's kind of hanging with Rhea. Like,
yeah.
she's so confused. All these people just disappeared.
I sent the 2 people in Brother Bishop a thing. You can respond in Brother Bishop to tell me what you think is going on. Or what your reaction is.
Okay.
Oh no.
That was a very distant, robotic, disjointed laughter. What happened?
Don't know what that was.
Yeah, that was alarming.
It sounded like he was out of breath, like.
Just
How old men laugh.
To be fair, yes.
Okay.
Actually, no, I can't guess this soon.
I just want to remind you guys that this is a horror D&D game.
I'm loving it.
I know, I'm not used to it. I'm used to it being filled with jokes.
That's why there was blood earlier. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's meant to be like horror mystery.
Great.
I know.
Surprise!
I'd like to also remind y'all that Drake and I have had a little taste of this game before, but also it wasn't horror. So I don't know
Right.
how to respond to things appropriately.
Oh boy.
That's why that thing left so fast.
Goodbye.
And here, Zulamar's about to ask if she's ever been attacked by anything. And then she just vanishes.
I feel like I've seen this scene with rope in Jurassic Park before.
Oh, I think I made someone very angry.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Oh, I 100% did. Okay,
Oh no.
we're gonna get back. So, Team Saint, you guys are going through?
Yes.
Yes,
You're stepping
Together.
off the bridge?
simultaneously. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. 1 second, I will send you what I sent them.
Oh
Oh
god.
shit, like so one of
Can't-
you is staying to see if the rope goes crazy.
Oh wait, only one of you
No.
goes through, or both of you?
No, we go at the same
okay.
time.
Yeah.
Cool. I will send you
Okay.
both what I sent them.
We're
It
tied
was
together,
more
holding hands.
We're tied together, holding hands, so that
Oh my god.
we'll know if something happens to one of us.
Okay.
As soon as you
If
step
we
off,
lose
you
sight.
two disappear, and the only ones left on the bridge are the Maiden Mother trio, or duo.
There's a trio. Oh wow.
There's like
I look around, terrified.
Where's the third one?
Where's the third?
I mean, Rhea is just gonna look at Ahsoka and I guess start walking forward.
Are they okay? Do you know?
We can't hear each other, and
Oh, that's right.
I mean, Rhea's thought is, well, I can't do this alone. So, she's maybe she's gonna hold onto her hand and start walking through just to
Yeah.
give her the chance to run back if she's like starts falling to her doom.
Yeah, like have
And she's gonna walk through to the end.
Okay, when you step off, you disappear for Ashoka.
Does she still feel my hand?
No, you disappear.
Oh my
Oh
god.
fuck.
just Ahsoka. Oh god. Ahsoka's like she takes a quick breath. She's like and then she just jumps in.
Okay, cool. I'll let you guys handle how you want to explain what you saw. You all can hear now, by the way. You all
Excellent.
can hear and you can talk, and there are birds chirping, and the sun is shining, and there are clouds in the sky above you, and there is no more fog except for the wall behind you, where you see just a bit of the bridge. Explain yourselves as you wish.
So when they break through, Mist has her short bow drawn and pointed from in the direction that they're coming.
By the way, I just want you to know, when Ahsoka steps through, it's gone.
Oh.
Like the fog completely?
No.
Or the bridge?
Something. Wow.
Sulamar looks.
The Saint and the Brother know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh great.
Sulamar looks rather queasy, and his grip on Vitania's hand is tight as hell.
When
Red, you can send what I sent you to Renji. That way Renji knows
I'm
what.
beginning to.
okay, all right.
Gee,
I'm
thanks.
beginning to understand why no one's returned.
I'll send it to you guys as well, just so you know what was happening. But
Your characters don't see it.
yeah, your character.
That's not a fog.
That's what I sent them.
Well, just for the record, that didn't happen our first time down.
Zulamar blinks at where it once was, and
Oh,
then
gosh.
just says, "That thing was giggling."
I don't even know what orifice it was giggling from. And I do not wish to find out.
It could have been any of them. Vitani's very on edge because at first she could see what it was. She had a as nasty as it was, she had a visual. Now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes her very uneasy, and she keeps Zulamar close and behind her.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it stays gone.
Zulamar immediately looks to Ahsoka and Rhea and tries to blink away his terror. He ushers them towards him and says, I want to see if you two are okay.
Yeah, are you guys okay?
Oh, thank God I can hear you guys again.
We saw what was in the fog with us.
What was
It,
Something horrific, and it was It seemed as if it was seconds from grabbing the two of you.
I knew it! I knew there were creatures here. They
I wasn't
couldn't hide.
It wasn't a creature.
It wasn't?
It was a monster.
I knew that too.
Miss slowly lowers her bow and arrow and puts it back on her back
there was a-
and hovers away.
Creature possibly killing people as they came in here.
Probably never
Perhaps.
even made it through.
I am going to let you guys know. Just as a sort of... Actually, roll survival. Roll survival.
Oh God.
Survival?
Come on.
Good thing I'm proficient in it.
I
18.
have survived things.
Ooh,
17.
natural 20.
Nice. Was that the first natural
And
20?
No, Pierce had a natural 20. Who rolled
Oh,
a natural
Pierce.
20?
I did.
Okay, Larl.
19 plus 4, 23.
Nice.
On survival. Cool.
21.
Sweet. You did not get a sense that this wanted to kill you. Or hurt you.
That's even worse. I've got this metallic device in my hand, and as I see everyone's safe, I kind of give it a twist, and I pull out a glowing red rock, and I just throw it up in the air, and I'm like, duck, and it boom explodes in kind of a small poof of fire.
Oh my god.
When it does that, you notice that where the fog is, it sort of stops instead of seeping into the fog. It sort of hovers around it.
The red dust?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Sorry, once I put my power into them, they become very volatile, and I do not wish that on my...
You guys are
Sadly,
now...
it's...
Oh, continue.
Back on my shoulders. Nap. Are you okay? And I turn to Mist.
She slowly nods her head, a little shaken, but is quickly regaining her composure. And kind of is still looking up a little bit at the red dust around before slowly responding to him. I think I'm okay. Do you know what that was?
No.
He hasn't the foggiest.
No.
That was out of character. Sorry.
Oh, no, it should have
just-
been in.
It should have been in character. It should have been in.
Zula might could be like, I haven't the foggiest.
The foggy. Really?
Never seen anything.
This is what happens
even-
when he spends times with Atani.
Yes.
I've never seen anything at all like that before.
And having 3 younger siblings. Vitani, I just want to say this now. I don't think that we should remove our rope anytime soon.
Wasn't planning on it.
Excellent.
Hey guys,
Hey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
you hear a little bell jingle?
No,
Uh-huh.
no, no, no,
From
no,
where?
no, no.
From behind
What?
us?
No, it's just off in the woods.
Uh-oh.
And it's a sound that the saints and the maidens will know. That's a bell you put on dough.
You put on what?
A dough. You know,
A
when you're
dough.
breeding does.
Oh.
Oh.
Sounds like a pleasant sound. It is completely unfamiliar to me.
You're funny, dude.
It's just a little,
So the hunters are very familiar with this sound.
yeah, it's just a little jingle.
Zulema wants. I want to say that means civilization, perhaps people, safe people, but at this point, nothing should be trusted.
Stop that cat.
No, Vitani doesn't trust anything coming from the woods right now. But they did come all this way.
I wouldn't hunt in those woods if I were you.
What did we come here for if not to find out what was here?
Well, I came here for a different reason.
And what reason is that? Why are you here?
I'm not saying.
I don't
I,
think
for one, am
anybody has
curious.
explained why.
Yeah,
I don't really
I'm
think we
thinking
have
it's-
time to
What's everybody's passive
interrogate
perception?
anything right now.
What's everybody's
Mine
Passive
Mine is-
perception.
13.
13?
Mine's
11.
13.
13?
12.
passive perception?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
12.
Okay.
12.
Alright. Larl?
11.
Okay. Alright. Never mind.
Well, I'm interested in the bell, and I know that if we keep avoiding every sort of sound that we see, we won't actually learn anything.
We came here knowing that it's likely not safe. Obviously, no one has returned from the below. We were just told that. I say we just be prepared to defend ourselves.
Out of character, can I just take like a 20-second break just to run to the washroom?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, do we want to
No.
take a quick
No.
Do we want to take our
No,
first
no.
break of the night?
before we
Everyone
run
can
into
take
anything?
a break.
Yeah.
Everyone can take a
Yeah.
break, but Laurel, you're never allowed to take a
No.
break.
Alright, we're gonna take our first break of the night, and I'm gonna stop the recording here. So 3, 2,